Hey there, history lovers and trivia fanatics. Welcome to Past to Present, where we dig up fascinating and obscure bits of history. Those nuggets of knowledge that make you go, huh? I never knew that. Get ready to unlock a treasure trove of historical trivia from Napoleon's bunny brouhaha to Cleopatra's surprising heritage. We've got a lineup that's sure to surprise you. Let's kick things off with a hilarious and slightly embarrassing showdown for one of history's most famous military strategists. We all know Napoleon Bonaparte, the emperor who conquered most of Europe, right? But did you know he once met his match in a battle against fluffy bunnies? It all went down after a seemingly successful rabbit hunt. When the cages were opened, the bunnies charged. Thousands swarmed Napoleon and his men, overwhelming them in a flurry of fluffy fury. History is full of surprises, isn't it? Time to tackle a historical misconception that might blow your mind. Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt. An icon, a legend, the picture of Egyptian royalty. But Cleopatra wasn't actually Egyptian. Gasp! She belonged to the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek family ruling Egypt. Established after Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, they kept their Greek heritage alive, spoke Greek, followed Greek customs. Cleopatra was more Greek than Egyptian. Now let's talk about a war that was over before it even really began. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 holds the Guinness World Record for the shortest war in history. It lasted a grand total of 38 minutes. The British Empire wanted control over the Sultanate of Zanzibar. When a less compliant sultan took the throne, the British decided it was time for a regime change. At 9 a.m. on August 27, 1896, the British Navy opened fire. By 9:38 a.m., the sultan had fled, and the British declared victory.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. Maybe someday you'll have it your way. Maybe someday it'll all work out. Maybe someday you'll have it your way. Maybe someday it'll all work out. Until then, nope, and nope, and nope, and nope. Definitely nope, and nope, nope, and nope. Probably never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. Oh no.
Seymour, a testament to her resilience and spirit. All right, gather around, history buffs and comedy enthusiasts, because this next one's a real knee slapper. You know those your mama jokes that have been passed down through generations? Well, the oldest known your mom joke is from ancient Babylon over 3,500 years ago, and the best part, we even have a record of it. The joke was discovered on a clay tablet inscribed in cuneiform script. Now I know what you're thinking. John, you can't just drop a bombshell like that and not tell us the joke. And you're right, I wouldn't do you like that. The joke, roughly translated, goes something like this. Something, 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 your mother. Okay, I'll admit the punchline is lost in translation, but hey, at least we know the ancient Sumerians enjoyed a good mum joke too. Kind of makes you feel connected to them, right? Let's move from ancient Babylon to 19th century France, where we encounter a monument that's as iconic as it is surprising, the Eiffel Tower. Now, you might think of the Eiffel Tower as this static, unchanging structure, a permanent fixture on the Parisian skyline. But here's a fun fact. The Eiffel Tower grows. Yes, you heard that right. The Eiffel Tower stretches out a bit when the weather's warm. Made of iron, it expands when heated. During hot Parisian summers, the Eiffel Tower subtly stretches skyward. It can grow up to 6 inches taller. 6 inches on a structure over 1,000 feet tall, a testament to the power of thermal expansion. From the soaring heights of the Eiffel Tower, we now descend into the shadowy world of 19th century England, a time when folklore still held sway. In 1838, a man was pardoned for murder because he claimed he was killing a vampire. We've all heard the tales of vampires, creatures of the night preying on the living. In Victorian England, the fear of vampires was still very real for some. The fear was strong enough to warrant a pardon for murder. The accused claimed self-defense, saying the victim was a vampire. Surprisingly, the British courts agreed it was self-defense. This case offers a glimpse into the anxieties and beliefs of the time. Okay, so picture this. It's 2023. You're scrolling through your phone, maybe looking at some TikToks of cats doing ridiculously cute things, and then bam! You see an article about a living person whose grandfather was President of the United States. And not just any president, but John Tyler, the 10th president, born in 1790. John Tyler, president before the Civil War, has grandchildren alive today. Talk about a family reunion that would break the internet. It's mind-blowing to think a single life could bridge that much history. The past isn't as distant as we think, but the grandchildren, still kicking it. History is filled with fascinating connections, tying us to the past. It's still echoing through the generations. All right, let's talk about ancient Rome for a second. We all know they were into gladiators, togas, and conquering vast swathes of land, but did you know that Roman husbands had some, shall we say, interesting ideas about marriage and specifically wine? Yeah, you heard me right. Wine. Apparently, in ancient Rome, a husband could actually divorce his wife if she was caught sipping, swirling, or even just looking at a glass of vino the wrong way. It sounds absurd to us now, but back then it was a very real and very unfair law. The fact that it even existed says a lot about the power dynamics of Roman societies. So, the next time you raise a glass of wine with your friends, take a moment to appreciate how far we've come. Cheers to progress, to All right, let's talk about George Washington, the big GW, the father of our country, the dude on the dollar bill. We all know him as the stoic general who led the American Revolution, the first president of the United States. But here's a fact that might surprise you. George Washington was a hemp farmer. Yes, you heard that right. He spent some of his time cultivating hemp. The hemp he was growing wasn't the same as today's. Back then, hemp was used to make rope, clothing, paper, even ship sails. George Washington recognized its value. He even wrote about hemp in his diaries. It's kind of funny to think about, right? The very image of American virtue was out there tending his hemp fields. History is full of these unexpected little details. So the next time you see a hemp product, remember, you're in good company. Even George Washington was a fan. All right, let's talk Vikings. We usually picture burly dudes with horned helmets pillaging and plundering, right? But what about the Viking women? They were progressive for their time. Viking women had rights. They could own property, inherit wealth, and even initiate divorce. Some managed businesses and participated in trade. Viking women were breaking the mold centuries ago. Let's be honest, ancient Egypt is endlessly fascinating. Pyramids, mummies, hieroglyphics. It's the stuff of history textbooks and blockbuster movies. But there's an awkward detail about King Tut. Tut's parents were siblings. Yeah, you heard that right. This inbreeding led to serious health issues. The guillotine. Even the word sends chills down your spine, right? It's a symbol of revolution, terror, and the French aristocracy losing their heads. Literally, but the guillotine's story goes beyond Marie Antoinette and the French Revolution. Its first victim was a common criminal, Nicolas Jacques Pelletier, a highwayman. Seen as a more humane method, it became a symbol of equality, even in death. All right, history buffs, let's talk ravens. Not just any ravens, but the ravens of the Tower of London. Legend has it that if the ravens ever leave the tower, the kingdom will fall. There's even a raven master to care for them. It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but it's real. So next time you think of the tower, picture those ravens standing watch. Okay, everyone, buckle up because we're diving into one of history's most bizarre conflicts, the Great Emu War of 1932. You heard that right, a war against emus. And spoiler alert, we didn't exactly cover ourselves in glory. Picture this: Western Australia, vast farmlands and 20,000 emus. These birds were big, flightless, and wreaking havoc on crops. The government sent soldiers with machine guns. The result? Emus are surprisingly resilient. In the end, the war was a flop, and the emus are still around. When it comes to Roman emperors, Caligula doesn't exactly have the best reputation. Known for his cruelty and eccentric behavior, Caligula's leadership was unique. Let's discuss the time Caligula declared war on Neptune, the Roman god of the sea. He ordered his soldiers to attack the sea. They stabbed at waves and collected seashells as spoils of war. This incident highlights Caligula's erratic behavior and power trips. Think about the vastness of history and how individual stories intersect with world events. 1929, the year the stock market crashed, kicking off the Great Depression. And in the midst of all that, two babies were born who would go on to become icons: Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. Two children, born worlds apart, both destined to leave indelible marks on history. Anne, a young Jewish girl forced into hiding during the horrors of the Holocaust. Martin, a young African-American boy who would grow up to become a leader in the fight for civil rights. Their lives were tragically cut short, but their legacies continue to resonate deeply. Let's talk about a true visionary, Ada Lovelace. Born in 1815, Ada wasn't just your average 19th century lady. She was a brilliant mathematician and the first computer programmer. Computers in the 1800s? Not quite the laptops and smartphones we know today. Ada worked with Charles Babbage on the analytical engine. She saw beyond the gears and cogs, envisioning a future where computers could do more than crunch numbers. In 1843, she published the first computer algorithm. Talk about being ahead of your time. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the bizarre world of medieval justice. And when I say bizarre, I mean like a pig on trial for murder, kind of bizarre. Back in 1386, in Falaise, France, a pig was arrested, charged, and put on trial for infant murder. In medieval Europe, animals were often considered moral agents, capable of understanding right and wrong. The pig had a full-blown trial, with witnesses, a lawyer, and a judge. The verdict: guilty as charged. The pig was condemned to death and publicly executed. Other animals like dogs, rats, and even insects faced charges too. Sometimes history is just plain weird. Hey there, history buffs. Today we're diving into the world of ancient inventions with a story that might just make you thirsty. We're going back to ancient Greece, where hero of Alexandria created something remarkable. Imagine needing holy water at a temple. Instead of waiting, you could use Hero's vending machine. Drop a coin in and its weight would release a measured amount of holy water. It shows that the desire for convenience is timeless. Hero's invention paved the way for today's automated commerce marvels. All right, let's talk about a man named Tsutomu Yamaguchi. History is full of incredible survival stories, but Yamaguchi's experience is unique. He survived not one, but two atomic bombings. Yamaguchi lived through both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. In August 1945, he was on a business trip to Hiroshima when the first bomb dropped. He witnessed the blinding flash and felt the searing heat. Injured but alive, he returned to Nagasaki. 3 days later, he faced another atomic bomb. Surviving one atomic bombing is astronomical. Surviving two is almost impossible. Yamaguchi endured and became a vocal advocate for nuclear disarmament. His story is a testament to human resilience and the horrors of nuclear war. Let's journey back to ancient Greece, to the very first Olympic Games, held in 776 BC. Picture this: athletes, competition, cheering crowds, but only one event. The inaugural Olympics had a single race called the Stade, a sprint about 200 meters long held in Olympia, Greece. The winner, Coroebus, a cook, became the first Olympic champion. It's wild to think how much the Olympics have evolved, from a single sprint to a global spectacle with thousands of athletes. Let's talk about one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, the destruction of the Library of Alexandria. Imagine a place so full of knowledge, with scrolls upon scrolls of ancient wisdom. The popular narrative is that the library burned down, maybe during Julius Caesar's campaign in Egypt, but it's unlikely a single event led to its complete demise. The library faced various threats over centuries. Some scholars believe its decline was gradual, a slow erosion of knowledge. The truth is, we may never know exactly what happened to the Library of Alexandria, but the mystery reminds us of the fragility of knowledge. So we all know Isaac Newton, right? The guy who got bonked on the head by an apple and figured out gravity? Yeah, that guy. Genius, physicist, alchemist, and, as it turns out, inventor of the cat door. Newton, being Newton, saw a problem and engineered a solution, a small hole in the door just big enough for the cat to pass through. The man invented calculus in his spare time. Do you really think a cat door was beyond his abilities? The cat door, whether truly invented by Newton or not, shows that even brilliant minds can be preoccupied by everyday problems. So the next time your cat saunters through its own personal entrance, remember to thank Sir Isaac Newton. Let's talk about Pablo Picasso, shall we? The painter, the sculptor, the ceramicist, the guy who made Cubism a thing. His art is iconic, influential, and let's be honest, a little confusing sometimes. But did you know he almost didn't survive his own birth? Baby Picasso, born in 1881, came into the world not breathing. His uncle, a doctor, blew cigar smoke into his face. The nicotine jolt shocked little Pablo into taking his first breath, and the rest, as they say, is history. Okay, Shakespeare fans, buckle up because this one might surprise you. William Shakespeare, the man who gave us Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet, also gave us the name Jessica. Yeah, you heard that right. Before Shakespeare, the name Jessica didn't exist in English. He likely adapted it from the biblical name Isca. He tweaked it, gave it flair, and boom, Jessica was born, and what a legacy it's had. All right, let's talk about Prohibition, that grand American experiment in social engineering that, spoiler alert, didn't go so well. People got creative, and in the case of alcohol, that creativity took a particularly strange turn. I'm talking about toe cocktails. Reportedly starting in the Yukon Territory of Canada, people would drop an actual preserved human toe into their drinks. To properly partake, you had to let the toe touch your lips while you drank. The idea of a shriveled, preserved human toe swishing around in my drink is enough to turn me off cocktails for life. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, or maybe just our capacity for questionable choices. Okay, let's be honest, we've all heard this one, that the Great Wall of China is the only human-made structure visible from space. But here's the thing, it's just not true. Astronauts have confirmed it's tricky to spot. The Great Wall is only about 20 feet wide, so unfortunately this myth is busted. It's still a monumental feat of engineering. All right, buckle up because this one is straight out of a medieval fever dream. In 1518, Strasbourg was hit by a peculiar plague, not the bubonic kind, but a dancing plague. It started with Frau Troffea, who danced non-stop. Soon hundreds joined in, baffling physicians. Explanations include mass hysteria or ergot poisoning. The dancing plague remains one of history's most bizarre events. And there you have it, 30 historical facts to make you the most interesting person at your next trivia night. From Napoleon's bunny encounter to the shortest war ever fought, history is full of surprises. Like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more fascinating facts. Until next time, stay curious.